Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So it hasn't been a bad day thus far. Sun shining at times out there. A little bit of fair weather cloudiness. 88-degree air temperature. Probably top it off at around 90. We're looking at a dew point value of 76 degrees. And the winds, not bad, right? Northeast at about 10. Those winds are going to get breezy quickly during the evening hours, I think. And then we're going to get sustained winds during the overnight, probably starting at around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning that, while not life-threatening by any stretch of the imagination, I think will cause some people to sit up and take notice that they're going to be kind of breezy out there, even windy. And though they probably won't do much damage, especially along the coast, it'll certainly be kind of unusual for this area to have a 30-mile-per-hour sustained wind, and that could definitely lead to some power outages. More on that in a second. Here's the latest track. 140-mile-an-hour winds, and it certainly looks like some additional strengthening is possible as it moves up on a track that takes it very close to the Space Coast. Right now, some of the storm surge models are indicating a 7 to 9 foot storm surge. Add on top of that high tide, add on top of that wave action. You could get some 12-foot breakers with this storm. So you're talking about a 15, 18-foot wave above sea level that's going to crash over top of homes, no doubt. This is and move inland, flooding inland, maybe 15, 20 miles. A very, very bad situation. Anywhere from the Space Coast, from Fort Pierce, really, all the way up toward Jacksonville. Just a bad situation. And wind speeds inland. I mean, Orlando could see some hurricane force winds. That's how far inland those winds will go. We are nowhere near the cone. We are going to, I think, wake up and find ourselves very fortunate with what kind of weather we are going to experience over the next 24 hours compared to the other coast. Look what happens in the final issues of this forecast track. You know, the loops continue, the forecast models continue with this loop scenario. The only thing is this water will have been stirred up and agitated so much that a lot of the warmth will be removed. And hard to imagine that this system will have much of a punch as it heads south. Too early to tell exactly what will happen with it. Will it be absorbed? Will it actually follow that scenario? We'll see. Okay, here's what I think that we can expect to see. I classify our threat hazards in 3 categories: rough seas, windy conditions, and then some stronger storms that'll move through in rain bands. Rough seas are going to be an issue if you're a boater, and obviously if you're smart enough not to go out there in these waters, why then this will be a very dealable situation. Because the winds will be mostly offshore, coastal flooding will not be a big issue for us like it was with our last storm. 20 to 30 knot winds on open waters, 12-foot seas possible, especially as you go a little offshore. Obviously, stay in port. Make sure that boat is moored up tight. 20 to 30 mile per hour winds, windy conditions during the overnight, higher inland winds. That'll lead to some isolated power surges, I think, some trees, branches down, that sort of thing. But within the rain bands, we could see some stronger winds filtering down, 50 to 60 mile an hour gusts there, kind of similar to severe thunderstorms, that sort of scenario. And that will occur between tonight, say midnight tonight, and right straight through tomorrow afternoon. The eye of the storm continues on a trek that takes it right up toward Florida, as I mentioned, through the Bahama Islands, now just north of Andros Island, skirting that island. Big convective towers all around the eye wall, indicating a strengthening system. And some of that easterly wind flow slinging back storms in this direction, bringing us that 30% chance of storms today. Tomorrow, our rain chance, I think, will go up to about 50% as the eye of the storm gets closer to the center of the state. Lifted north by a trough of low pressure and then kicked out to sea by a high-pressure ridge building in. We expect to see fairly calm conditions today with some fast-moving clouds out there. It'll become breezy tonight with those showers around, even windy during the overnight, with some higher wind gusts contained within those storms, as I just mentioned. Then things will settle down quite a bit. The good news is on the track that it's taking, for us anyway, the probability of stronger winds have gone down. In fact, the probability of hurricane force winds in Sarasota is 0, and the forecast for even tropical storm winds is pretty low at about 20%, so that's good news. Wind gusts, however, as I said, that could be an issue. If you take this time during the afternoon to go out, lower your porch umbrellas, bring in the lightweight trash can lids, take down lightweight bird feeders, things like that should be okay. These wind speeds should be dealable. Again, boaters, this evening, wind speeds pick up. Stay in port. Check those mooring lines. Over the course of the next several days, the strongest effects will occur tomorrow, Saturday. Things will kind of clear out pretty quickly, and I think the weekend looks to be pretty nice, Scott, with some very pleasant lower humidity weather.